Greetings, fellow Earthlings, and welcome to the first 82-0 of NBA 2K24. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're not spinning a wheel. We're not opening packs. Today, we're going to do a little experiment. So lately, I have been working on a video that's going to be looking at the MVPs of the McDonald's All-American game, which is, supposedly the best high school players in the country playing against each other, and the best player in that game wins the MVP. But today, we're going to make two teams using that list, and between those two teams, we're going to see which team can get further or even win the 82-0 challenge. So the first team is going to be from a list of players who were snubbed by the McDonald's All-American voter. Now, there's a key caveat here in that we're using what I call the post-rivals era. So basically what we're looking at is in the past, before like 2003, recruiting services were not nearly as intense as they are now. So you have a lot of players like Scottie Pippen didn't get any, I don't think he got a single offer, right? But as we've gone further and further now, those recruiting services are having more and more players. So you're seeing less snubs than you used to. I think it's more interesting to look at the modern era, so 2003 and beyond. But for the MVPs, we're using the whole history. So I believe it starts in like 1978. So we're using their whole history because if we only use 2003 and on, this team would be really bad. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first team, which is the McDonald's All-American Snubs. Okay, so as always, we're playing as the Grizzlies. Now, as you can see, as you're going to notice here, the snub list is very heavy on guards. The MVP list is, they have a lot more big players. Now, at the end of this, after I show you this team, I will tell you the other players that were honorable mentions for the snub list. Some of them are not in the game, so you can't use them. And some of them are like borderline, but these are the guys I picked. So at point guard, we have Steph Curry and Russell Westbrook. Steph Curry, not really a surprise. I believe he was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school. I believe Westbrook was a 3-star at Rivals and maybe a 4-star at ESPN or 24/7 Sports, but still not a super heralded recruit. But I believe he was in the top 150. I don't think Curry was. At shooting guard, we have Dwayne Wade, and we should have Paul George as well. So neither of those guys were very highly regarded. Those will be our two twos. And then small forward, we have Kawhi and Jimmy Butler. Again, not too surprising. If you think about like where these guys went to college, right? Like you have Davidson, of course, Westbrook, UCLA. That's a little bit different. D Wade went to Marquette. Kawhi Leonard, San Diego State. Butler, also Marquette. Paul George went to Fresno State, so in a lot of small schools. Now, here's where the team kind of falls apart, right? We get to the power forward spot. Now, okay, it's decent, right? Kevin Love, Draymond Green, they're fine. They're okay. When you see the MVP list, though, you'll know that if these teams played each other, this team would get destroyed in the post because they just don't have the size. 6'6" Draymond Green, 6'8" K-Love. Now, Kevin Love also played at UCLA. Interesting that him and Westbrook played together there. And then Draymond, of course, Michigan State. So decently big schools there. And then at center, here we have DeAndre Jordan and Andre Drummond. Now, I wasn't going to have Drummond in there at first. I believe I had K-Love at center and Paul Millsap as the power forward, but Paul Millsap is not in the game, so I couldn't use him, so we had to switch to Andre Drummond because honestly, as you're going to see here in a second when I read you the rest of the players, there's not a lot of size. So here are the players that fit the criteria and didn't make the list for whatever reason. And really a lot of them are guards, so they didn't make the list because they're not quite as good as Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, or these are obviously like these guys are at their peak, right? Like this is the best version of them. This isn't, Russell Westbrook today or anything like that. So here's the list of guys that didn't make the list. We have Chris Middleton, Kyle Korver, Deron Williams, Danny Granger, who I was very close to putting on the team because he can play power forward, but just decided that I would rather have Draymond because he can kind of, play anywhere. Brandon Roy, who was very close to making the list. Paul Millsap, as I said, would have been on the list if he was in the game. Klay Thompson was actually originally on the list, and I realized Paul George is higher rated in 2K, so he switched them out. Bradley Beal, Damian Lillard, John Wall, Zach LaVine, DeJounte Murray, Malcolm Brogdon, Donovan Mitchell, and Ja Morant. So that's the list of players who were up for eligibility but didn't quite make it. And I stopped at 2020 as well. I should have said that up top because we just don't know whether those players are going to turn out yet. So I didn't want to put them in because, you never know. So anyways, let's go ahead and see how this team does in the 82-0 challenge. All right, here we go. Okay, we didn't lose game one. That's good. That's what I'm always worried about. Okay, we're doing decent. Come on, boys. Okay, this is pretty far for the first try. This video is not going to be very long. Okay, we need to turn off trades. I don't want to see any trades. This video is not going to be very long because we're only doing two teams. Oh! Kevin Durant lost to Kevin Durant. Can you believe? Actually, wait. I just spoiled the next team, actually. KD is not until the next team. So, dang. Bradley Beal, a player we didn't take, and Kevin Durant bested us. Oh, man. Yeah. You hate to see that. Dang it. I really thought this team was going to make it pretty far. Now, to be fair, they almost made it out of November, which is a decent run for us. Okay, let us go ahead and see if they can win a championship, and then we'll get on to the second team. Potentially, I think the team that has a better chance of actually winning as well, but I guess we'll find out. So let's check. They made it 14-1, so I will write that down, and we'll see which team does better. Okay, we are here at the end of the season. I cannot believe it. 76-6, so not too shabby. I didn't think it was going to be that good considering our size. Also, we were like routinely scoring in the 160s, which is just ludicrous. Joel Embiid is your MVP. Wembanyama, of course, is your Rookie of the Year. Let's look at that. Ooh, okay. We're going to have a save coming up about him at the end of the week, so watch out for that. Chris Paul, 6th Man of the Year. They said he's going to start, but 2K says that's a lie. Nicholas Claxton, Defensive Player of the Year. Okay. Paul Reed, Most Improved. Oh, they have new awards too. Clutch Player of the Year goes to De'Aaron Fox. How do they... whatever. Okay. And then we have the Coach of the Year, of course. Okay. Do we get any players on this list? Wow. No, not a single Grizzly on the All-NBA first team. That is a bit ludicrous. Or the second team, or the third team. I guess there's just too many good players, too many cooks in the kitchen. We didn't get anyone on any team. Wow. Okay, they're this good, and yet no one can make it. Perfect. Okay, the Grizzlies are the #1 seed. Let's just quickly sim through the playoffs. Can they do it? I really hope they go undefeated. That would be incredible. They did. The Grizzlies went undefeated through the playoffs. K-Love is your MVP. So technically, they went, what? How many games is that? 4, 8, 12, 16. So they won 86, 92 games this calendar or this season. That is pretty incredible. Okay, let us go to the second team, the McDonald's All-American MVPs. Here we are with the MVPs. Now, as I said, the team is very top heavy. Now, the good news is that I did move a player around, and it could be a little bit of cheating, but we'll get there in a second. So to start us off, at the center position, we have Shaquille O'Neal and Dwight Howard. Superman v. Superman. Although they're not versing each other, they're on the same team, which is good for us. At the power forward position, KG, Chris Webber is back in the game. Love to see that. But KG, he's going to be massive for us. Of course, C-Web, a great person to have off the bench. At small forward, we have Kevin Durant. And here's where things start to go down a little bit, right? We have Michael Porter Jr. There's not a lot of good small forwards. Now, there's actually one really good one that's not on here, but we'll get to him in a second. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about if you know anything about the McDonald's All-American game, but we'll get there in a second. Okay. At shooting guard, again, not terrible, not great. We have Jerry Stackhouse and we have J.J. Redick. Now, the issue here is that I was thinking I would probably go with J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith is not in 2K, right? So that is why we have J.J. Redick here instead. Now, I don't know who you would consider I would probably say, I don't know. J.J. Redick is a very good shooter, so he'll be good on this team, I think. But I do think J.R. Smith is probably the better player, although that could just be my bias speaking. But then here is where things get a little nutty. We have point guard LeBron James. He did technically play point guard, I believe, in 2019 and 2020. So it works, and he is very good at facilitating. So it's fine. It's perfectly fine. It's okay. And then Cole Anthony is our backup point guard. Again, if you look through these lists, it very much is like skewed towards taller players. You got a lot of power forwards on there. You got a lot of centers. You got several small forwards, but not a lot of guards, at least are winning the award. And then it seems like the people doing the recruiting, like making the recruiting services, tend to miss on guards more than they miss on big players. And I don't necessarily mean miss seeing them, right? Because there are a ton of big guys, that were very highly recruited and did not turn out well. But in this case, we're talking about missing out on like seeing the guy, his potential when he was in high school. So this is our team. I think they'll do a lot better. They have 4 guys rated 97 or higher. And they have LeBron 6'9" at point guard, so he's going to just dominate, I think. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Some table setting. If you remember, the Scrubs made it to 14-1, which I believe would have been this game. So if we can make it past the Suns, we will have gotten a better record. Let's see how this goes. Okay, at least we didn't lose the first game. That's always good. Oh my God, they lost to the Trailblazers? So they made it to, what, 7 games in. They did beat the Suns, though, so have that up on the Scrubs. Oh, my Lord. Okay, I will see you here at the end of the season, see how they do. We'll see which team comes out on top, who could win the most games total. So I'll see you here in a second. Okay, well, we did get the MVP this time. LeBron James did win it. Now, I'm keeping this close to my chest what our record was, because we'll see that in a second, I believe. Wembanyama, Rookie of the Year. Chet is overlooked once again. Chris Webber, 6th man of the year. That's a wild one. Nicholas Claxton. What do they love Nicholas Claxton's defense for so much? Paul Reed, most improved. Jokic, clutch player of the year. I pronounced the Joker's name correct, and then I can't pronounce clutch. So we went 79-3. 79-3. We were 3 games away. Much better than the 76-6 that the Scrubs went. We'll see how they do in the playoffs, though, because if they don't win a championship, it's all for naught. Okay, so, of course, LeBron is here twice. Makes perfect sense. We love to see that. Any other Grizzlies? KG made second team All-NBA. This team's actually making some teams. This team is actually making some teams. This team is actually winning some awards, is what I meant to say. LeBron, all-defensive first team. KG, all-defensive second team. We shouldn't have any rookies, of course. There's only 2 rookies on the All-NBA rookie team. Okay, we're the first seed, of course. Let's see how we do. They sweep the Mavericks. They sweep the Thunder. They sweep Golden State. LeBron, 14-14. What a stat line from the King. Okay, sure. Oh, you can see both. You probably see both last year. I just never paid attention. Okay. Annoying that you have to press start. Okay. Can they do it? So this is the exact same team we played last time, right? Who does the 76ers have in this? Do they still have Harden? Probably, correct? Yeah, so they still have Harden, Maxey, Harris, Joel Embiid. So yeah, pretty solid team. Okay, here we go. Are we going to sweep? We're going to sweep? No. Okay. So the Scrubs are better in the playoffs. They have that clutch gene, courtesy of Stephen Curry. All right, here we go. There it is. It's over. All right. So the Grizzlies win in both scenarios. Both teams very good. Still have not completed the 82-0 challenge. We'll have lots more of that this season because I am obsessed with trying to do it at this point. But that's going to wrap up the video for today. I will see you all next time. Goodbye.